Hey, folks, welcome to BrushPile Fishing, the video podcast. As always, we've got another great guest in store. Dean Yoder from Millertech Batteries and Electronics is going to join us. We posted that we were going to have this podcast, and we've got some questions that came in. We're going to ask Dean. They're also the title sponsor of the National Fishing Expo that's going to be coming up in Columbus, Ohio. We'll talk about that. So you stay tuned. We'll be right back with BrushPile Fishing, the podcast. Welcome back to BrushPile Fishing, the video podcast. We'd like to remind you that the podcast is now brought to you by Bob Cycle in Sydney, Ohio. For all your cycling needs, four-wheelers, check them out. Great place. We're glad to have them on board. But right now, we're going to jump right into it. Mr. Dean Yoder. Dean, how are we doing today?
We're doing good, Russ, man. How you guys doing?
I'll tell you what, I just got back from Florida yesterday. And it is dreary, rainy, and cold here. I'm ready to go back to Florida, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So we live in the same state, so we got the same kind of weather going on. Yeah, it's been a wet winter for sure, cold and wet, and I'm ready to get on the water, but obviously we got to wait a little bit yet. So
I hear you, folks. You're going to hear my phone beeping and all that good stuff. But the reason being, because I've got it on a Facebook page with the questions, so I got to refer to that when we get into this podcast. But Dean, the new batteries, they're replacing the old style and everything. Right off the bat, give me some of the biggest benefits that we have with the new batteries.
So our new Sport Series batteries are the ones that you're referring to, I believe, and
Yep.
Instead of using cylindrical cells like we did in the old batteries, we're using prismatic now, which is a flat cell, which means we can stack a lot more power in a battery, right?
Okay.
Because we can stack a lot more in there. And obviously, now we got 100% waterproof battery. Before we had that little gauge in the top, and every time you cut a hole in the battery, you're playing with fire a little bit,
Yeah.
Our new batteries are all Bluetooth. Everything's Bluetooth, and with a 10-year warranty on them. So that's 100% replacement, 10 years. It's not prorated in any way, shape, or form as well. And of course, some of our new products are 24-volt batteries, 36-volt batteries. And then our new starting batteries that we have, 1,500 volt cranking amps in those. And we go all the way up to 190 amp hour battery, which is basically 200 amp hour battery in a case 31, in a battery case 31. So that's pretty serious stuff. If you're running a bunch of electronics and all that kind of stuff, everybody's always putting extra batteries in. So this helps out a bunch. Get you more space in the back and a lot of power in one unit. So,
Yep.
Those are some of the pluses for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, I told you I just got back from Florida, and the first show we did was a power trolling show. So we were moving pretty quick, and we were on Crescent Lake. And if you've ever been to Crescent or know about that, it is a big, wide open body of water. So when that wind blows, there is nothing to stop it. And we did a full day on those lithiums. And I'll tell you what, man, no problems whatsoever. We put together a great show. And I think back to the old days, I'm not sure I would have been able to get that all in one day. But, man, this worked out super. And, folks, Millertech has outfitted the BrushPile boat about a year ago now. And I'll tell you what, it's a blessing that we had those. And like I say, it definitely did the trick for us. And I just think back, like I say, not sure we could have did that before.
Yeah, well, they are game changers for sure. And I know a lot of people, it's a more expensive product, obviously, than your traditional lead acid batteries. And so people, it's a chunk of change when you do make a change or whatever. But there's so many benefits to it in the long run. Once you figure out what's what and how it's a game changer for sure.
It is. The other thing, talk a little bit about the app you can get on your phone for your batteries and charging system.
Yes, absolutely. So our Bluetooth app, it's just a Millertech app. It's a free app on your, you go to your Play Store, whatever you got, and you just download our app. And once you get the batteries, in your boat or in your hands, whatever, they will automatically show up on that app, and they will tell you everything. I mean, from how fast they're charging to how much voltage you got in them. It's all on there. If there's a problem, it'll show up on the app as well and tell you what the problem is. So that Bluetooth app it's a game changer. I mean, you can sit in the cabin at night while you're charging, and you can just look at that and be like, well, I'm fully charged, I'm ready to go. Or if there's a problem, it'll show up.
It's just amazing how far we come. I'm old school, you know that. And
Oh, yeah.
but like our Garmin depth finders, we've got an app now, Active Captain, and
Yep.
now for the Millertech batteries. And it's nice to know exactly, like you say, you've got all those things on there right at your fingertips. And I think we all have smartphones, and if I can use one, trust me, anybody can.
Or myself.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Me and Andy, our video guy, was talking a little bit, joking around before. They were having some problems getting set up for this podcast, and I offered to help, but that was turned down pretty quickly, I might add.
Well, that would be my deal. I would offer to help, and they would probably tell me to go wait over there. So,
dude, I'm in the same boat with you. My cameraman won't let me fly the drone. I can't do anything, man.
They're more fishing time for you, Russ. You get
exactly. Exactly. Want to talk to you. You guys are the title sponsor for the show in Columbus, the National Fishing Expo. Dave, I can remember the first year that he put that on, and it was a decent crowd, but nobody really knew about it. And now, he's promoted it well. We're in bigger buildings at the Columbus Fairgrounds, and that show has turned into one heck of a fishing show. And I know you guys are the title sponsor this year.
We are. It's pretty exciting to be that, and it helps get the word out for sure, and it draws a lot of people. I remember being down there last year, and it was elbow to elbow. I mean, Sundays are off a little bit probably, but Friday and Saturday it was tremendous. It's a great show. David's done a great job down there, and
yes, he has.
Yeah, so.
And the dates for that show this year, folks, are this coming week, February 8 through 10, and it's at the Columbus Fairgrounds. It's the National Fishing Expo. You want to get there. If you have been thinking about putting lithium batteries in your boat, see the folks at Millertech there at the show. They're going to answer all your questions. You're going to see the products. When you feel the weight difference alone between the old acid batteries and these, it is amazing. But you guys will be there, and if someone has questions, it's one thing to watch the podcast or this or that, but when they're there and can talk to you and you can point things out, that's a big advantage.
Yeah, you come on over to the booth and we'll help you out. We will show you the product, and we'll go over whatever, any questions anybody would have. We're there to help, and it'll be an exciting time for sure.
Exactly. And one thing, folks, that I would definitely recommend, if you're going to go with some Millertech batteries, get their charging system, keep everything together. We've had it for about a year now, and I'm telling you, everything has worked out so nice. We don't have to worry about having issues when we travel 600-700 miles, or like Florida, I just went, I think, 1,300 miles.
Yeah.
It's nice to know you don't have to worry about any of that. And like I say, you guys are going to be right there at the show. This is your opportunity to get there, ask those questions one-on-one. And I think you'll enjoy that. Again, February 8 through 10 for that. And also, right now, if you get online and order some products, we have a special with Millertech going on. Enter the code BrushPile10 for an additional 10% off. Even if you see an item on sale, they're offering this additional 10%. It's BrushPile10. How do we get to Millertech? What's the website?
MillerTechEnergy.com.
MillerTechEnergy.com. There you have it, folks. Again, take advantage of that 10% discount. He was up front. Dean told you, these are definitely a little bit more expensive than your old style batteries. Here's a chance to save some money. But, even though they're a little bit more money, what's the warranty on those, Dean?
Well, it's a 10-year warranty, which is not prorated. And you're looking at, we're looking at 10 to 15 years of battery life out of a set of batteries as well. So I mean, with a 10-year warranty, and it's not prorated, right? Try to do that anywhere else. Believe me, it's
Exactly.
it's a hard thing to sell. And I will say, right out of the gate here, we really pride ourselves on. I don't like to use the word pride, but we strive very, very hard for customer service. I mean, without customer service and our customers, we're nothing, right? So we don't.
Exactly.
There's not a bunch of. There's a warranty claim. There's not a bunch of dilly-dallying around. Like you call us, me, Sean, call the shop. We have a great big new warehouse in Middlefield, Ohio, and it's a great facility. It'd be worthwhile to go up there and see it actually sometime. It's a unbelievable facility, and what they do in there, because we have so many more other products other than just batteries as well. But the warranty is pretty easy. It's at a snap of a finger and boom, boom. We'll send you a brand new product out with a return shipping label in the box to send the old product back to it. We'll pay to do that as well.
You don't get a lot of places doing that anymore.
And one more thing is, we answer the phone when there's a claim or whatever. We try to answer the phone. We're normal. We're human beings, but we try to stay on top of things, and we try to return phone calls as quick as possible, or then answer as we go. So we strive very hard for customer service, and that's one of our big things.
And folks, customer service right now, how important that is. So, Dean, we're going to jump in right now. We've got some questions from some of our fans.
Absolutely.
And I want to shoot a few out. My buddy Scott, he asked, do lithium cranking batteries void your outboard warranties?
No, they do not. That's an old issue that they used to way back in the day when they were brand new. Even if you look at Mercury, they have a writing that they brought out, and it's all good now. So, as a matter of fact, if you look on Mercury, we're actually one of the batteries listed. That's okay with their engine as well. But yeah, we've run them on shows, Suzuki's, and all that stuff. No, it does not warrant it does not warrant the one.
Yeah, and like you say, when they first came out with lithium batteries, I think there was some issue there, but now that's all taken care of.
It was a charging issue that they had with overcharging and all that kind of stuff. So now, what we have in our starting batteries, as well as all our other batteries as well, is we have an overcharge protection in there, undercharge, all that stuff is in there. It's all built into our BMS kit.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, you're good. Got another question from James Laird. What is the optimal charge level between your trips? Should you keep them charged at all time or charge them fully before use?
You can go multiple days without a charge. So just for example, if you're running 312s on a 36-volt system or whatever, our cutoff voltage is 10.5, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, you can run those batteries till they're completely dead. And with our charger, it'll pick it right back up and charge them right back to full. You don't have to. I guess that question would be, can you go multiple days without charging? Is what I'm getting. Right. Yes, yep. You definitely can. Absolutely. Yeah. I know a buddy of mine. I'll tell you real quick, Russ. Back in maybe 2 years ago, we had a 90 amp hour 36-volt battery that we did, which was too big of a battery to really have in stock and sell, but we built a couple of them. It was a 90 amp hour 36. He fished 8 tournaments without being charged.
No kidding.
On a 90 amp hour, 8 times on the water he fished. And now our biggest 36 is a 60. So, you can just kind of play the numbers there. So,
you're going to be,
yeah, it's pretty amazing. The 24 volt and the 36, it's whatever somebody decides to use. I mean, a little thing I will tell you, if you're running a 24 volt or a 36 and our starting battery, correct?
Okay.
If you're running that system, let's say your starting battery, something happens where that battery shuts off, right? There's a protection built in there for everything. So if it detects anything, the starting battery will shut off. Well, now you can't crank your engine, right? With a 36 volt and a 24 volt system, if you're running those kind of batteries in the boat, you'll need to carry a jump pack with you to restart that starting battery. Because
Okay.
obviously you can't jump from a 36 or a 24 to a 12 volt to open that battery back up.
Right.
That's
Right.
the drawback, but a jump pack's $100, you know. So we do not offer a jump pack at this time, but we're working on hopefully having one pretty quick. But it's $100 item. It's not a big deal really. So if somebody's
Okay.
wondering, you know, if somebody was wondering how would I start that starting battery if I got 36s in the boat, right? Because you can't jump a 36 to a 12. Well, a jump pack, like I said, they're $99. I mean, I'm not going to say the
Okay.
company that you can find them for $99. And I've carried one in my boat for 30 years and I've never used it, but I always have a jump pack in the boat period because it's just a small item.
Same here.
Yeah. So that would answer
Exactly.
that kind of question, you know.
Okay. Kip Wright wants to know cold weather charging and how are these batteries affected by temperature when fishing?
Okay. So cold weather charging on all lithium, doesn't matter who you're using, is 32 degrees.
Okay.
Now that is a problem that very seldom happens, right? If you're out fishing in usage on cold weather, 10 below zero. As far as usage, you can use them as cold as you practically want. Charging 32 degrees and higher. Now, what a lot of people will do if they get in a pinch I mean, I fish cold weather because I'm in Ohio, right? You're in Ohio, Russ. Yes, my boat's in a heated garage, but I'm still fishing, you know, when it's in the upper 20s sometimes, in the low 30s. We're out there in the springtime or in the fall. That's never been an issue. If you're staying overnight somewhere, the weather's cold, one thing that people will do is buy one of those cheap heating blankets at Walmart, plug it in and throw it over top of the batteries. You can put a heating lamp in the back of your boat, you know, close the lid. That'll take care of business as well. Those are some small things you can do if and when you get in a pinch, which is very seldom, right?
Right.
It's not too often that we have. Matter of fact, I don't ever remember where somebody's calling us and saying they can't charge their batteries or, you know, but 32 degrees, they like to be charged at 32 degrees and
Okay.
I don't want the battery plugged in overnight when it's 20 degrees outside without some kind of maybe a heating blanket or a heating lamp in the back of the boat. Those are some simple things you can do. But again, that's a small percentage of.
Even like you say, you and I are both here in Ohio, and I fish as much as I can, even when it's cold. I've never ran into an issue. So
No, I haven't either. But yeah, 32 degrees is what they like to be. That and higher to be charged. As far as using them in cold weather, if the water's not froze, you can fish all you want. I mean, we got guys using our batteries in ice fishing, fish finders, and so forth. So it's not a problem.
okay.
No.
Okay. Now here's one. This is from Michael, and this one's one I'm interested to hear your answer. He asked, do single voltage batteries, 12, 24, 36 volt, run just as long as hooking batteries in series? And can he run these different voltage batteries in series or parallel without causing damage? And is there any benefits to doing so?
No. Number one, so you take a 24 volt battery and a 36. You probably won't be putting those in series at any time because if you put a 36 volt battery in series, now you've got 72 volts. So we're never running anything with 72 volts. The same goes for a 24. You know, we don't have 48 volt trolling motors. So those two batteries are parallel batteries. That's what I run in my tournament boat. I run two 36s in parallel. Only because I'm a power freak and I like to have a lot of power when I'm out on the water and I don't have to worry about it, right? That's what Jacob Wheeler runs the same setup in his boat. So I don't know. And if you know Wheeler, like I do, that guy has more batteries in the boat because he has these two batteries and then he has this battery to back up that and that battery to back up this. He's pretty crazy about his battery situation. But the 36s and the 24s will run just as long as 212s or 336s. As far as time-wise pretty much goes on. So we have a 2480 amp hour, and then our 36 only goes up to 60. But you can take that you can fish 12 hours and you probably use less than 3/4 on a 36 volt bass.
Okay.
So
And I've got one. Oh, go ahead.
So
Got
as
one
far
more
as
question.
one lasting longer than the other, not necessarily much of a difference. It's just somebody's preference, right? Just what they
Okay.
want to do. Some people, I've had the question where, man, that's just one battery in there. I don't know if our pros run 236s. I run 236s. And I do that because, we've never had a 36 go bad. Cross our fingers. So far, we haven't had one go bad. But if one does go bad, you always have a backup.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say, Russ, if you're running, let's say, a Garmin trolling motor, which is 36 and 12, 36 and 24. Now you might want to think about, are you going to use that 24 volt button or not? Because if you're running a 24 volt battery or a 36 volt battery, obviously you can't push that 24 volt button and go to 24 volt. Unless you're running 312. Now, if you're running 312s, then you can do that. So that's something to keep in mind. You know what I'm saying? But,
yep. I've got one more question for you.
All right.
Jim Davison says, can you use the same charger as you're using for your acid core batteries?
So the Minn Kota Precision with the only one that a Dual Pro. So back in the day, we had a lot of guys with Dual Pro chargers. You remember those big, giant Dual Pro chargers are heavy. But you could send the Dual Pro, you could send that in and they would profile it to our battery. That's one option that people had back in the day. And then the Minn Kota Precision, not the digital, but the Precision on HEM will charge our batteries as well. So the Minn Kota Precision with AGM charge, that will do it.
And again, folks, just take care, get the whole system. Get the whole system. There you have the Millertech charging system. And like I say, I recommend you going with that, get the whole thing. That way you're going to have less problems in the future. They've got everything you're going to need there. Would you agree with that?
One thing I'll add on here real quick is we now have a 1236 charger on board, one piece, one onboard charger. One side does 36, one side does 12. So if you're running the starting battery and a 36 volt battery, now we have an onboard charger that charges both of those.
Nice.
We do not. That's just one unit. It looks basically like our regular 4-bank lithium charger that we also offer. If you're running 4s, if you're running 412, we have a 4-bank charger for that. But now we also have a 1236 charger. That is pretty cool, right there. Yeah.
And those are available now.
Those are on the site. They're available in stock, ready. Yeah, absolutely. We've sold a bunch of them, matter of fact. But that's something new that we have is a 1236. So if you're thinking about going with a 36 volt and a 12 volt starting battery, now we have an onboard charger, one piece that does both. Yeah.
There you go, folks. And again, if you go to that website, punch in BrushPile 10 for an additional 10% of whatever price you find it on there. That's a great deal. Save some money. And again, Dean, I tell you what, man, I appreciate you joining us today and especially answering questions. I know some of them might have put you on the spot. Brother, you did it like a champ.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
So people always ask another benefit of a lithium battery. You have our battery. So I'm sure that you see on your screen that there's more clarity because your volts don't drop throughout the day on lithium.
Big time.
Like it does on lead acid batteries. Your voltage stays up there at 13.2 or 13.3 pretty much all day long. And another thing that people don't understand is the wiring issue. If you don't have great wiring in your boat, it really doesn't matter what kind of battery you're using.
Dean, let me stop you right there because we had a question from my buddy Bill Phillips I forgot about. He wanted to know what size wiring you recommend.
Absolutely. So 8-gauge wire you can get away with. It'll work. But to be optimal power, I mean, to get the optimal power to your units, 10 gauge wiring is the way to go.
Okay.
Absolutely,
There you go, Bill.
100%.
There's your answer.
And then on lithium, you got to have really tight connections. It's a little bit
Okay.
different than old lead acid. If it's a little loose, it would still work. On lithium, you need tight crimps. You need your bolts to be tight. Everything tight. But 10 gauge wire, lithium battery, you'll see a big difference on your screens because you don't get that drop throughout the day. You know, that thing will stay straight across all day long. It'll stay at the same voltage till that battery's completely dead. Yeah, it's a big misunderstanding that people don't understand sometimes. And everything will run crisper. Even your trolling motor runs crisper on lithium. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. I know that it's a game changer. So yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dean, I appreciate you joining us, buddy.
Absolutely, Russ. I appreciate you having me anytime.
All right, Dean Yoder, folks, from Millertech. Make sure you stop at the National Fishing Expo, Columbus, Ohio. Again, February 8th through 10. They will be there. They're the title sponsor. This is your chance to go there, ask questions one-on-one, check everything out. So, Dean, appreciate it. And folks, you bet, buddy. Folks, before we take off, I want to remind you to get that BrushPile app for your phone. Doesn't matter if you're an Android or Apple user. It has everything you need. It's completely free. So grab that app. I want to talk also, folks, again, the National Fishing Expo will be in Columbus. BrushPile, we will have our booth there February 8th through 10. And we have one spot left in the BrushPile Fishing Academy. That's going to be March 7 through 10 on Dale Hollow Lake. You don't want to miss this. And again, we just posted it about a week or so ago. We have one spot left. And when that one's filled, we will not take any more people to that. So again, before we take off, make sure go to the Millertech website and punch in BrushPile 10 for that additional 10% off. Folks, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. Dean was great. He answered the questions we had, and we're glad to have a partnership with them. And like I say, man, I was just at Crescent Lake in Florida. Windy conditions. Loved having my Millertech. So hope you enjoyed it, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back again with BrushPile Fishing, the video podcast.